Have you heard about Anchor? Well, it's one of the easiest ways to create a podcast. Not only is it 100% free, but it has a variety of creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or a computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast to other sites such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, and many others for you. And Anchor even allows you to make money from your podcast without a required minimum listenership. So whether you've been in the podcasting game for a long time or you're completely new to it, Anchor is so user-friendly that it's basically your one-stop shop for making a podcast. So what are you waiting for? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You're listening to First Fossil. Because sometimes you simply need someone to help you take that first fossil.
Hello and welcome to First Fossil, a show where we learn together how to take that first fossil toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. My name is Candace Olushala, and I am back from Ecuador. Yes, I am, guys. It was a wild 3 weeks, but I am grateful to have gone to visit friends, do some medical missions through University of Kentucky. Hit me up if you want to know more about that. And just spend some time with friends from the States that wanted to travel around Ecuador a little bit after we did our medical brigade. So glad to be back. Surprisingly, it's so weird. Ecuador is only an hour behind me. I'm in Eastern time. Ecuador is Central time right now because they don't do daylight savings. And I feel like I just changed by like a 12-hour difference. It is insane how deeply exhausted and jet lagged I feel. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that in Ecuador, the sun always sets around to 6:30 p.m. And I got home and the sun is like wide awake, up and about, boobity boobity bop at like 9 p.m. I'm like, hey, wait, are you going to bed? I want to go to bed. I need to go to bed. I'm just saying, Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please go down so I can go to sleep. Okay. It's a struggle, but I'm here. I am barely awake, but we making it. Okay. And this week is a huge week for me because I will be the keynote speaker at the Kentucky Pharmacist Association annual meeting here in Lexington, Kentucky. So if you're a pharmacist, technician, if you're an intern, if you're a pharmacy student, anyone in the field of pharmacy in the state of Kentucky, there's still time to sign up. We start on Thursday. And we go until Sunday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll be speaking Friday and Saturday. So June 3rd and 4th in the mornings. So hope to see you guys there. And if you're not in the pharmacy world, that's okay. Keep following stuff on my social media and I'll keep you posted on things because trust me, what's going on in pharmacy is definitely going to and is actively affecting you. Anyway, so let's jump into the 5th key. We have been on this journey for the last 5 weeks. This is week number 5 on how to unlock the greatness within and discover how we are extraordinary and uncommon, how we can live in that space of being extraordinary and uncommon every day. The first week we talked about acknowledgement. Then we talked about in the second week, desiring it. The third week, we talked about fighting for it. And today, I forgot fourth week. Fourth week, we talked about embracing it. And now today, drum roll, please. That was not a drum roll, y'all. The struggle drill. Ignore me. Okay, so the 5th week, today, we are talking about the 5th key to unlocking your greatness, and that is to run with it. Guys, all of this stuff that we've gone through, the acknowledgement of figuring out the things that we are afraid of, our insecurities, the things that our feelings tell us about ourselves that aren't necessarily true. First off, our feelings lie to us on a regular basis. Do not plant yourself in your feelings. I don't know how many times I have to say that on this podcast, but I'm going to keep saying it until it gets into your head. Do not rely on your feelings. Okay, this is crucial because our feelings, not just our feelings, but our feelings and our thoughts lie to us constantly. They will convince us to do things that we were never meant to do. They will convince us to not do things that we were supposed to do. So we have to be very careful about just saying, this is what I feel. This must be true. No, no, no. Don't do that to yourself. Or, this is what I'm thinking. This must be reality. No, no, no. That is such an immature thing to do. If you are doing that today, if everything you've done, everything that you've relied on has to do with how you're feeling or how you're thinking, and that has been the barometer of your life, I hate to break it to you, but you are walking in immaturity, okay? But you have to acknowledge that those things are a part of your life, whatever the fears are, the insecurities, things that you're nervous about, things that you're unsure about that are within you. Acknowledge that those things exist and say, okay, I can't necessarily rely on those things to be true or false. Let's start there. And then let's desire a space where we are healed, whole, and healthy, despite what our feelings and thoughts are telling us. What is the truth? Where is the truth? Okay. Once you dig deep into that and say that I am fed up of using my feelings and my thoughts as the barometer of my life, because they be up and down and all around, okay, then we need to fight for what the truth is. What is the truth about who we are? What is the truth about our actual greatness? Not about what our feelings tell us. And sometimes our feelings tell us something that we think sounds positive. But here's the thing about our feelings. Our feelings will tell us one side of something without telling us the consequences of the other side. And that is crucial to note. Your thoughts would do the same thing. So when you're fighting for your greatness, fight for the truth of your greatness, which may or may not be what your feelings or thoughts are telling you. Okay? So going on that healing journey, surrendering yourself to the healing aspect first and foremost, because if you are healed, your journey to look for anything else about yourself is going to be in this space of a wound guiding your direction. And you don't want your wounds to guide you. You want your healed whole self to guide you. So go on the journey of healing first, heal first, surrender to the healing process first, and then from there you would have a better foundational knowledge of who you are. So then you can test your feelings and your thoughts and see if that's really accurate based on your healed self, not based on your broken self, trying to find things to fill in the spaces that shouldn't be filled in those spaces at all. Okay. So go on that healing journey, whether it's through therapy, through a coach, through a pastor, through prayer, talking to Jesus. Side note, Jesus is the one that can give you all the answers that you're looking for, in case you were wondering. And end of side note. All these other gurus and life coaches and all these things, okay? Family members, trusted friends, things like that. Allow them to guide you, okay? Go through that process and then embrace everything, right? You've embraced it. You've embraced your truth. You've embraced not just your truth. It's like the actual truth about who you are. And then you've embraced the fact that you can walk in that truth, okay? That you can claim it. You don't have to claim the lies over yourself. You don't have to claim anything that people have prophesied over you that is not true, or even things that you've prophesied over yourself that are not true, or things that your feelings have prophesied into you that are not true, or things that your thoughts have prophesied into you that are not true, even though they might sound amazing. They might sound like a good idea. They might sound like, oh, this shouldn't hurt me. This shouldn't harm me. When in reality, it is destructive to your entire soul. And the world will tell you, no, it's not. It's exactly what you need to be doing. And it's a lie. Be able to embrace the truest truth about who you actually are. I would highly suggest bringing Jesus with you on that journey. And then the fifth key, after doing all of those things, run with that. Step out into the world celebrating why your uniqueness, the uniqueness that is given to you, honestly, by God in heaven, okay? That uniqueness in you, celebrate why that uniqueness is not only extraordinary and uncommon, but it is required for the world to run at its best. What I'm basically saying is that we need your weird. That's right. We need your weird. We need you to embrace all of your quirks and tendencies, all of those things that make you you. We need you to run free, to be you exactly as you were created and called to be, and be that with confidence. And then take that freedom to post it forward and call others into this process. You want to step out into the world in this freedom, move forward, and then convince others to go on the same journey, because there are so many people walking around broken, shackled by their own thoughts, shackled by their own feelings, shackled by what the world is telling them is right, when in reality it's wrong, shackled by the lies that have been spoken over their lives, the lies that they've spoken over their own lives, the insecurities, the fear, all those things. People are walking around shackled and pretending like they're not. Okay? But when you've reached that healing and you've embraced the truth about who you are, and you finally get to walk out into the world and run with the truth that is specific to you because of who you've been created and called to be, then you can help create a chain reaction of people being unlocked and unlocking that greatness by pointing out the greatness that you see in others. And then you get to be a part of their journey. The reason why I wanted to unpack these 5 keys is because this is a journey that I went on for 10 years. I had basically reached a point in my life where I was noticing the insecurities, the suffering, the pain, the resentment, the feelings of inadequacy. There were so many negative things that I thought towards myself. And I had to not only acknowledge them, but I had to choose to desire more for myself. And there was a lot of things that my emotions and my thoughts were telling me were true. Bad things and seemingly good things. As someone who's an empath, as someone who grew up using my feelings as the barometer of my life, it only led to destruction. There were some times where I would walk into situations and I'm like, oh, this is absolutely the right thing. I just feel it in my spirit. Yo, let me talk about crash and burn. Oh, it was strugglebus.com. And I had to teach myself, I had to surrender that. I had to surrender that idea that my thoughts about life, my feelings about myself, other people's thoughts about me and their feelings about me were all true, all of it. And a lot of it was contradictory, to be honest. And yet, even when I tried to find my truth and live in my truth, it was still very confusing. It was still very painful. It didn't result in the things that I really wanted. There was a resemblance of the things that I was looking for, but it wasn't quite hitting the mark. And I had to be honest with the fact that it wasn't actually hitting the mark, and definitely not hitting it consistently. If it hit the mark, it hit it for a moment. It didn't last, and then I had to find another way to regenerate that relief or that peace that I kept telling myself, oh, I'm at peace. I'm totally at peace with this. It wasn't consistently true. And so once I did that and I desired it enough to say, I'm done, I'm fed up, I want more for myself. I want something that's sustainable, that's long lasting, that's not waving, that doesn't hit me with the surprise of disappointment. I fought for not my truth, because I knew my reality, but I wanted the truth about me, because my reality was really confusing. My reality was filled with pain. My reality was filled with questions. My reality was filled with anger. My reality was filled with a lot of things that made me frustrated about the life that I was living. And I fought for the truth, and I surrendered to my healing. I wanted to heal. I wanted to heal from my emotions. I wanted to heal from my thoughts. I wanted to heal from the expectations. I wanted to heal from resentment. I wanted to heal from the lies. I just wanted to heal through and get down to the bare bones of who I actually am, not who I always perceived myself to be, or not who others kept perceiving me to be, and saying like, you know what, if that's who they think I am, fine. I'm just going to give into that, and I'm going to be that person and screw everyone else. There were moments when I did that, and let me tell you, it did not serve me well choosing to do that at all. I lied to myself and said it did. I even said, oh, but I'm feeling a certain way, and so this must be right. And in reality, it was the absolute wrong thing. And I have the memories to prove why it was not the right thing. And so once I really surrendered to healing and actually letting God lead that healing, even though I had friends and pastors and family members, I had life coaches, I had mentors, I had teachers, I had all these people that were pouring into me everything that people gave me, because I am a Christian and I trust and believe that God is above everything and everyone. I would take all of that and say, but God, what do you say? Like, this all sounds great, or this sounds great, this doesn't sound great. What do you say? Help me understand. Give me the discernment to know. Allow the Holy Spirit to guide me. I personally asked those questions because that's so important to me. And that served me better than trying to figure it out myself and trying to see inside myself, like, who am I? The one who created me knows me better than me, and I trusted that enough to fight hard to allow him to show me that. And I had to be honest about my lack of patience. I was impatient about finding out. I was impatient on my journey to being unlocked and released and rejuvenated and restored and living a life of wholeness and freedom. I truly struggled with that. And I had to keep talking to God about it myself and saying, God, this is a lot for me. This is a long process, and I kind of just want to be at the finish line. What's the finish line? And it was easier to sometimes just resort back to my old thoughts and my old thinking and cater to that. And it made my journey longer because I fought with my own impatience and would want to go back to relying on my feelings and relying on my thoughts. And something in me at some point would eventually say, no, Candace, keep going, you've got this, just persevere, it's not over until God says it's over. So I would regroup after going down these rabbit holes that felt good at the time, but they would have these crashes somewhere, and I would be emotionally all over the place, and my thoughts would be all over the place, and then I'd eventually have to go back to God and say, I don't know what's going on again. I need help. So it's not a straight line. It's a journey, but it's a journey worth going through. And once God really showed me the truth about myself, and I had that moment in April of 2020 where I realized the truth and was able to point out the lies that had been spoken over my life or had been felt into my life within myself or had been mulling through my thoughts for decades, over 25 years. Once I embraced the real truth and denounced the lies, I've been able to run with that truth and run free in that truth. And it is the most consistent thing that has ever happened to me, whether life is great, whether life sucks, whether things are going well, whether things are going bad, whether something surprises me for the good or whether something surprises me for the worse. No matter what has happened in my life over the last 2 years, life has been amazing because I am solid in the truth of who I am. I am solid in who I've been called to be. I'm solid in my purpose. I'm solid in my why. And I get to walk confidently in that, even when others don't understand it. but I have the assurance of what God's taught me to do this well. And I know not everyone listening to my podcast is a Christian, but I can't leave out the truth about where these keys come from. And that truly, foundationally, to be honest, came from my surrendering all 5 of these keys to God. So I just had to share that with you. Feel free to go through all these steps without God in the mix, but I'm going to warn you, you'll end up getting to a space that might seem and look great and fantastic, but it probably won't be the full and total truth, and it might not even be consistent, which sucks. And I want you to have the most consistent outcome going through this process. So again, feel free to do what you want, but I'm just saying, if you bring Jesus into it, it's going to be an amazing, amazing journey. So again, the 5 keys that we've gone through to unlock the greatness within you to be extraordinary and uncommon in this world is to acknowledge the things that you've been struggling with, to desire more for yourself, to fight for your own healing, and to discover the truth of who you are. Embrace that truth once it's revealed to you, and then run through this world knowing that that freedom is yours and that you now have the master key to help unlock other people. So that is it for today's episode, and that is the end of our mini series. If you've enjoyed this podcast, if you've enjoyed the series, let me know. Shoot me a message on social media or on my website at www.candiceolushala.com or at Candice Olushala on social media. Let me know how things have been going, how your process is going, where you are in your process. I would love to hear from you. If you have any suggested topics, anything else that you want discussed on this podcast, let me know. Hit me up, and I will be happy to address those things here. Feel free to also text me if you're in the US or in Canada at 859-800-3396. Would love to get your text messages and text you back because I do that. I love texting. So anyway, until next time, guys, be safe. God bless. Love you all and enjoy the summer. We'll talk soon, guys. Bye.